because light is the truth about us. We are the light of the world. That's our only function. That's why we're here. And that's not an arrogant thought. That is accepting the truth of who we are. When we think we are the seed that's just covered by the dirt and lost in all of the problems of the world, we don't really know our truth. But when we begin to wake up, kind of like what Howard was saying, he says, I don't know where I am on this level thing, but I'm a lot less stressed. Well, that's a huge statement. He's moving through, he's let healing be, just like those seeds. They move through the soil, and then they start to arise in their glory and allow the light that's in them to shine upon the world throughout the day. You know, when they come up, you kind of, when you see a new seed, I don't know, you kind of like, whoa, look at that. Look at that beautiful seed, that little green plant. I say that all the time when I see sticks in my garden start looking like actual green things. I go, look at those leaves coming out of there. That is just so amazing to me. I don't know why, but it is amazing to me. Seeing those plants come through the ground like that, that's just amazing to me. And it makes me feel hopeful for you and I. Let's go to the next slide. So we have to be hopeful, to experience that, we have to bring our barren thoughts, in essence, and our broken relationships and all those impossible challenges. You know what they are. You're going through them. We have to bring them to God and let healing be, right? It's just like those little seeds that push through, you know, that dark and lonely and barren and little existence that they have, this seemingly isolated existence they have in that little seed. They break through and they sprout, and all of a sudden they realize, ooh, look, there's tall things all around me. You know, I'm part of something greater. And if they bloom, then they've got honeybees coming over and pollinating them. And you start to see, and butterflies, and you start to see how interconnected everything is. You start to see the beauty of it. When we break through this feeling of isolation, this feeling of loneliness, when we arise in our glory, we break through those years, as I wrote there, of habitual loneliness, and we finally accept God's help. Yes, he is there to help us. It is his good pleasure to give us the kingdom. We keep forgetting that. He wants that. And by giving him moments in our minds where we just simply step back from feeling like we're buried in dirt, when we're buried in our problems, when we're buried in our challenges, when we give him those moments in our mind and let healing be, then he can work miracles in our lives. And that's the thing we have to remember. This is a Course in Miracles. It's literal. It's here to help us move from fear to love, from the darkness to the light, from the pain to the healing. That's its point. And as you do these lessons, you begin to realize that is what you are entitled to. And this is that great section, go on to the next slide, in the text in chapter 16 that says, step gently aside and let healing be done for you. Got that? Not by you, but for you. Keep but one thought in mind and do not lose sight of it. However tempted you may be to judge any situation and to determine your response by judging it, focus your mind only on this. And then it gives us this little prayer. I am not alone. That is so important because just like the little seed thinks it's totally alone, when it's stuck in the dirt and the sense of loneliness and loss, with all that over the top of it, and then it breaks through. And you know what? Lo and behold, it finds, well, there's other seeds that are breaking through. Lo and behold, oh, there's a bee, there's a butterfly. There's all these things that are helping me to flourish. That's pretty powerful. So it goes on, this prayer. I'm not alone, and I would not intrude the past upon my guest. Now, the guest is the Holy Spirit in your mind, the answer that God has given you. So you don't need to tell him, oh, this is how I did it in the past, and this person was a problem, and that person problem, and then this happened, and that. He doesn't need your past. He doesn't need your commentary. He doesn't need the movie that's been running through your mind. Step back from that. That's what that means. I am not alone, and I would not intrude the past upon the answer that God has given me, my guest. I have invited him by giving him just a little space in my mind for another way. And he is here. I've invited him, and he always accepts every invitation. He never calls in sick. He's always there. Never calls in late. He's always there immediately. He's on call 24/7. I need do nothing except not to interfere. That's probably our biggest thing, right? It's so easy to try to get in there and say, yeah, but, right? Yeah, but this, yeah, but that. You know, we need to not interfere. We do not need to tell him what to do. We simply, what does that say? I have invited him in. He's there. I need do nothing except not to interfere. That's it.